Today we're talking about off-road e-bikes. A buddy of mine picked up an electric bike he thought was trail ready, but once he actually hit dirt, the motor struggled on climbs, the suspension couldn't keep up, and the build quality felt sketchy the harder he pushed it. And that's the thing. Most reviews talk about specs, not what happens when the trail gets rough. So today, I'm breaking down the off-road e-bikes that actually dominate any terrain, with real power, proper suspension, and builds that hold up when it counts. Let's go! The ENGWE M22.0 caught me off guard, not because it's premium, but because it doesn't pretend to be. Around $1,200 with dual batteries, this moped-style fat tire sits in that budget zone where most bikes either overreach or underdeliver. What makes it work is focus. The 1,200-watt rear hub motor doesn't have the refined punch of mid-drives, but it delivers consistent torque through moderate climbs and rolling terrain where a lot of casual riders actually spend their time. The dual 52-volt batteries kill range anxiety, and I've seen this thing pushed on gravel paths and light single track without any problems. But keep in mind that at 75 pounds, it's a handful to wrestle around, and the suspension feels stiff once things get choppy. But the hydraulic brakes, those 4-inch fat tires, and the bike's overall build quality makes it stand out for riders who want something capable without the premium price tag. The HeyBike Mars 3.0 does something most folding e-bikes can't. It actually climbs. I'm talking throttle only on steep grades where cheaper folders bog down or overheat. That 1,400 watts peak motor and a torque sensor means power delivery feels connected to your effort, not just an on-off switch. Full suspension on a folder usually means compromised geometry or sloppy handling, but HeyBike dialed in something that works. The front fork and rear air shock soak up trail chatter without turning the bike into a pogo stick, and those 20-inch fat tires grip loose gravel better than I expected. At around $1,200, it punches way above its weight class in acceleration and hill performance. But let's be real, at 70 pounds, folding is more about storage than portability. You're not casually lifting this into an RV closet. And while the hydraulic brakes are confidence-inspiring, the exposed battery mount feels vulnerable on technical terrain. In my opinion, it's for riders who need something compact that doesn't ride like a compromise when the pavement ends. Another great off-road e-bike from ENGWE is the Engine Pro 3.0 Boost. It's another folder built around a feature most budget bikes skip entirely, a torque sensor that actually works. On climbs, that makes all the difference. Instead of the jerky, all-or-nothing power delivery you get from basic cadence sensors for a smooth ride. Hit the boost button mid-climb and you get 90 Newton meters pushing through the rear hub, enough to haul you up grades that would stall cheaper folders. The full suspension setup won't win any awards. It's functional, not plush, but paired with those fat tires, it handles loose gravel and hard pack without feeling sketchy. 2-hour fast charging is legitimately useful if you're bouncing between campsites. The problem, for me at least, was speed limits. If you're in a region where it's capped at 25 kilometers per hour, that's frustrating on open trails where you want to let it run. And yeah, there's even an app for it. But for around 1,500 euros, this bike nails the balance between portability and real climbing power in a way most folders don't even attempt. The Aventon Aventure.2 feels different the moment you start pedaling, and I mean that literally. That torque sensor is especially attuned. It amplifies your effort in a way that makes the bike feel like an extension of your legs, not a motor with pedals attached. I've talked about torque sensors already in this video, but here's why it matters on the Aventure. At 28 miles per hour on mixed terrain, that refined power delivery keeps you stable and in control, where cheaper bikes feel twitchy or unpredictable. The 26-inch fat tires are bigger than most folders we've looked at, which translates to better rollover on roots and rocks, and more planted confidence on descents. Real-world range consistently hits 45 to 60 miles without babying it, which is rare at this price point. The trade-off? At 77 pounds with no rear suspension, this isn't a bike for aggressive trail riding. It's built for riders who want something polished and dependable across pavement, gravel, and light single track without constant tweaking or compromises. Still at around $1,800 on sale, it's a pretty good deal in my books. The Rambo Savage 2.0 is purpose-built in a way most e-bikes aren't. This thing was designed for hauling gear through mud, not looking good in a bike lane. That Bafang motor runs quieter than any hub motor I've tested, which matters if you're actually using this for hunting or getting deep into the backcountry without announcing your presence. Torque delivery is aggressive. 90 Newton meters punches through loose terrain and steep climbs, even when you've got 50 pounds of cargo strapped to the integrated rack. The step-through frame isn't about style, it's about practicality when you're loaded down or exhausted from a long day. And those 24-inch Kenda juggernauts grip snow and mud better than the skinnier fat tires we've seen so far. Now, while the adjustable front fork helps, you're still missing rear suspension when things get truly rough. And at 68 pounds, pedaling this unassisted is a workout you don't want. The components feel utilitarian compared to Aventon's polish. But here's the thing, around $2,500, this isn't competing with refined commuter bikes. It's competing with ATVs and side-by-sides for remote access. And quite frankly, it wins on stealth and simplicity. Shifting the focus from utility to trail capability, the Ride1Up TrailRush changes the entire conversation. Built specifically for technical terrain, it distinguishes itself with a Bros mid-drive motor, delivering 90 Newton meters of torque directly through the drivetrain. This provides an immediate, more intuitive power transfer on steep, loose climbs that hub-driven motors simply can't match. Your pedal stroke and the gearing work in concert with the trail, not against it. The experience is supported by authentic, trail-ready components. The RockShox Judy fork offers legitimate suspension to absorb repeated impacts, and the 29-inch Maxxis Minion tires roll smoothly over obstacles while maintaining reliable traction on descents. At just 58 pounds, it's the lightest bike here, a benefit you feel in its agility through tight switchbacks and rocky sections. The main compromise, though, is range. Its efficient 504 watt-hour battery can be depleted on all-day epics if you rely heavily on the powerful boost mode, and there is no throttle. This is a pedal assist only machine. However, at just over $2,000, the TrailRush stands out as the first bike in its class that genuinely rides like a real mountain bike, rather than a heavy cruiser pretending to be one. Another one from Ride1Up, the Revv 1DRT blurs the line between e-bike and moto. This is less a bicycle and more a dirt bike that happens to have pedals, defined by its aggressive 1,000-watt Bafang motor. With 95 Newton meters of torque, it doesn't gently assist, it launches, hitting over 33 miles per hour with an immediate and visceral throttle twist. It separates itself from other moped-style bikes with a genuine suspension setup. A 150mm inverted double-crown fork and a 74mm adjustable rear shock truly handle broken terrain, absorbing roots and washboard gravel that would rattle a hardtail to its core. The enormous 1,040 watt-hour battery provides exceptional range, easily delivering 50-plus miles even with liberal throttle use, making it ideal for all-day adventures. The trade-offs are inherent to its character. At 94 pounds, it's a beast to maneuver without power, and pedaling feels like a token gesture. You ride the motor, not assisted. The single-speed drivetrain prioritizes simplicity over versatility. Priced around $2,300, the Revv 1DRT isn't competing with refined trail bikes. Instead, it's built for riders seeking moto-like performance with the legal flexibility to explore wherever the trail leads. Before we get to my final two absolute favorite off-road e-bikes on this list, if you're into no BS breakdowns like this, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Not ready for that? Totally fine. Just drop a like instead, because that's what helps me know this kind of content is actually useful. The THOK TP4 represents the pinnacle of Italian EMTB engineering, over-engineered in the very best sense. Its carbon frame is not only lighter, contributing to a total weight of just 24 kilograms, but also notably stiffer. This translates to exceptional precision, allowing the bike to track with exacting control through rock gardens and fast corners without any unwanted flex. While it features the proven Bosch Gen 5 motor, pairing it with 160mm of front and 150mm of rear travel from premium Fox or Öhlins suspension transforms the feel. The power delivery becomes remarkably composed and predictable, even under heavy braking or during mid-corner adjustments. The geometry-adjusting flip chip is another meaningful detail. Lowering the bottom bracket height adds noticeable stability on steep descents without sacrificing climbing agility. The modular 800 watt-hour battery comfortably outlasts smaller packs on demanding days, though it can still be depleted faster than expected in the highest assist modes. Starting around $7,600, this is boutique pricing for boutique performance. The only notable letdown, apart from the eye-watering price, is the stock Schwalbe tires, which are merely adequate in muddy conditions, a surprising compromise at this premium level. The Trek/Plus takes a unique approach, sacrificing brute motor power for exceptional descending performance. While its TQ motor produces only 50 Nm, significantly less torque than competitors, Trek's philosophy is clear. On enduro trails, you climb to descend, not the other way around. Paired with a high pivot suspension offering 170 mm of travel front and rear, the bike absorbs heavy impacts with remarkable composure, keeping the wheels planted and your speed high through the roughest terrain. At just 44 pounds, it's astonishingly light for a full-power EMTB, making it feel agile and responsive in technical corners where heavier bikes feel cumbersome. The motor is whisper quiet and seamlessly integrated. It provides subtle support on climbs without ever dominating the ride, avoiding the sensation of piloting a disguised motorcycle. The compromise is evident on sustained, steep climbs, where you'll miss the torque of more powerful motors, and the complex chain routing requires more frequent maintenance. However, starting around $5,500, the Slash+ excels for riders whose priority is conquering descents with confidence, offering just enough assist to session trails all day. This is the EMTB that finally feels like it was designed by riders, for riders.